Hello, everybody. We're gonna go live on some of the other platforms as well. So you're joining in. Just be patient with us here. Keep in mind, if you're catching this recording, please drop me a question. I'll do my best to respond. And then we also do some Q&A live. So feel free to make sure you're following us. Have your bell notification turned on here on YouTube. As well as Facebook and that kind of stuff. So you can come join us live while we're live so we can answer your questions on Wednesday. We'll probably have some time for some Q&A today as well. So please go ahead and type in your questions. As you guys joining in live, welcome. We're going to be giving away a free resource today. I'm very excited about this. This free resource, I paid over $2,000 for this. And that's for this current contract. This is the third real estate wholesaling contract package that I have paid for and dealt with. Overall, I have spent over $5,000 on my contracts between the different contracts. So if you look at it that way, the amount of money that I invested into this is well over 5 grand, and all the time and all the frustration and all the deals I missed out on because of this. Guys, you're saving tens of thousands of dollars by getting these contracts for absolutely free, regardless if you're brand new to real estate wholesaling or if you've done hundreds of deals. You guys should get access to this free resource. And the reason for it is, even if you have a process or a contracts, real estate wholesaling contracts that are working for you, you should compare yours to mine, right? There's definitely some important things. I'll talk about these real estate contracts and the contracts that you guys are going to get access to, but they are absolutely free. In the description, there's a link for these. If there's not a link in the description, type interested in the buyers or the contracts and we'll get them. What we're giving away is our real estate wholesaling contracts. What is wholesaling? This is where we find a seller that's willing to sell at a discount, right? And we pass that opportunity on to another investor using contracts, right? We are the middleman selling paper. Right. My biggest wholesale deals are in the 6-figure range. I've done 2 6-figure wholesale deals just this year. I do over $1 million in real estate wholesale fees the last 5 years in a row. Right. I make a lot of money on real estate wholesaling, and it would be impossible without the right paperwork. And so that's what we're giving you, is my exact contracts. So make sure you get that free resource. Right. Some of the things that I want to mention, what you're going to be receiving in these contracts is not just a real estate purchase and sell agreement, right? This is the purchase and sell agreement, yes, but it also is going to include what's called an addendum. And I'll explain what all these things are. It's also going to include your assignment contract. So let me explain those 3 contracts. These are the 3 things you need. So the first one is the buy and sell agreement that you're going to sign between you and the seller. Right. This is agreement on price and deadlines for inspection and deadlines on the purchase price when you're going to close. This is what I sign with the seller. The addendum can go with that contract. So if I have a seller that's willing to do payments, or a seller finance agreement, or a sub 2, or anything creative where the seller needs, time to stay in the house with like an escrow holdback or something unique to the situation of the seller, between you, the seller, or you, the buyer, and the seller, that's what that addendum is for. So the addendum is basically a 1-page document where you can write in anything that you want to change in the original agreement. If you need to change the price at a certain point, that's where you use the addendum, right? So you're going to use the addendum, not on every single deal, but many of the deals you will. So you're going to get my addendum, my contract, as well as the assignment contract. This assignment contract is a contract that you sign between you and the end buyer that is buying your contract, right? Is buying the rights to close on that original contract. So the assignment contract will outline how much the original purchase price is for, how much the assignment fee is. If there's a real estate agent that brought the buyer, how much the real estate agent's getting paid at closing. It outlines the date that the end buyer has to close on the contract, the original contract. So that is the assignment contract. You're going to need all of these. Once you get these contracts signed, you send them to the title company, and the title company will pay you your portion. So without real estate wholesaling, it's impossible without the right contracts. Keep in mind, these are contracts that I use. There might be different regulations on what you need to have in the contract or not having the contract. If you're a real estate agent, You got to talk to your broker, and you have a license. You have some different responsibilities when it comes to that. So keep in mind, you should seek legal counsel before you use these contracts. These are just contracts that I use that I'd like to share with you guys, to have this free resource. But for legal purposes, for yourself, to protect yourself, you should definitely seek legal counsel. I'm not giving you legal guidance. I'm not telling you to use these contracts. I'm just sharing them with you so you can see that what I use. All right, protect myself. So go ahead and get these free contracts. Like I said, over the years, I've spent thousands, probably $6,000-7,000 on contracts in total. Um, as you'll see in these contracts, there's a couple things that are very important in here. One of them, in a real estate purchase agreement, you can't necessarily go use the standard state real estate purchase contracts, right? Or the state REPSIs, because every state that I've ever seen, the real estate purchase agreement has a paragraph in there that says the contract is not assignable. You can't pass it to a different person or a different entity. It has to be closed on with the person signing the contract. So if you want to use your state real estate purchase agreements, you have to have the addendum that goes with it that says that the contract is assignable. And there's a lot of other reasons I wouldn't use a state REPSI, but that is the other options, right? But this contract's more simple. It's more to the point. It gets through the process, and in the contract, it has the paragraph that allows you to assign the contract. So I wanted to give you guys this gift, get access to it. If you guys are, grateful for this resource, please share it. Share it with your friends. Share it on your social media. Share this post. Let some people know about it. That would help me out a lot, right? People get to see what I do and how I help people. And my goal is to give back and help as many people as I possibly can. So please share this. Please like this video. And if you guys are here with me live, please chime in where you're coming from. I'd love to answer some of your questions here while we're live.
Rodriguez is coming from Florida.
What up, Rodriguez? What part of Florida? I do deals in Florida as well.
And then he asked, can we obtain a number from batch leads to cold call?
A number from batch leads? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Batch leads or batch skip tracing. Batch leads, you can skip trace for phone numbers. Yes, you can do that. I have another training that I will be introducing, how to get phone numbers much cheaper than batch leads. I think batch leads is around, I think it's like 14 cents a phone number. We used to use batch leads and batch skip tracing for phone numbers. We're currently using a company called Kind Skip Tracing, KIND Skip Tracing. They're 3 cents a skip trace. Contact hit rates are very good. They also skip trace for LLCs differently. That it's actually decently accurate to get phone numbers. What they do for skip tracing for LLCs is they pull the data of anyone that had filed a document for that LLC, the name of the person filing the document, and they skip trace for the address and that person's name. So you get way more accurate phone numbers for LLCs with Kind skip tracing than you do with batch, which is good. So you get better data and it's way cheaper, right? What is that? Like 4 or 5 times cheaper with Kind skip tracing. Also, if you use Kind skip tracing at checkout, you got to buy a package, right? You have to buy like $300 worth of skip tracing up front, which is about 10,000 skip traces. So you got to buy a package up front. It's still way cheaper. It might take you a little bit to use them all up. But if you go and buy a package of skip tracing, I just negotiated this with them this week. I also wanted to give huge value to my audience. They're going to give you 1,000 cash buyers. They're going to give you 1,000 phone numbers and buyers. And what this data comes from is anyone that bought a house in your area. You can pick your area when you go to do this, but they find all the properties that have been bought and then sold for, I think, 20% more than original purchase price, that were bought and sold within 12 months at a higher percentage. So any property that was flipped, they find the name of that person that flipped the property and a phone number. So you're going to get 1,000 cash buyers for free by buying your first. When you go and check out, do DFD, stands for driving $4. DFD at checkout. Use that promo code. So skip tracing 3 cents versus 14 cents, and you get a cash buyers list of 1,000 on your first person purchase with that discount code. So hopefully that helped you out and answered your question.
Dealer Two of Spades asked, "Do you know anything about land wholesaling?"
Land wholesaling for sure. I've got a bunch of land right now. We actually just this last week signed 3 land deals in Florida. We also just had a brand new successful student. If you go to my podcast, Driving for Dollars Mastery, I have a student on there that did his very first wholesale deal on a piece of land. We broke down how he did it, how it was structured. But yes, I do a ton of these myself, as well as I have students that'll do those as well. So very much so. And not only do I wholesale land, but I also buy land and sell it. I also buy land, do small updates or subdivisions. We've got one right now where we're doing a lot line, putting in 2 different parcels. We're gonna make like 200 grand on that deal. I'm super excited. I also sell them on contract for deed. So I basically do a seller finance to the end buyer. So lots of cool stuff with land for sure. Great questions.
Junior Eastern West Valley here.
Oh, nice.
So his senior videos. He went around today for a couple hours and couldn't find any houses. Zillow and Redfin doesn't show.
Yeah, so we don't use Zillow or Redfin to find discounted houses or wholesale deals, right? We go out and find the ugly houses in our area using an app called Deal Machine. We add those ugly properties to an Excel spreadsheet and reach out to the homeowner and see if they want to sell. So we use Deal Machine. If you use the discount code PIN, PIN, you're going to get $100 for free in in-app spending. What that means is if you sign up with Deal Machine, you can get all the owner's information, mailing address, property address, who owns a property super quick. But then to reach out with phone numbers or sending postcards, it's going to cost some more money. So you get $100 for free if you use the discount code PIN. But we use the Deal Machine app, right, to upload our list of people that we reach out and see if they want to sell. Then we reach out with texting, cold calling, and postcards to see if they're willing to sell. But that's how we're finding our discounted opportunities. So we can wholesale them, flip them, keep them, right? If you go listen to my podcast, you'll get more understanding of this. It's called Driving for Dollars Mastery. But you're also going to need those contracts. So make sure you get that free resource. That's what this live's all about.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is finding houses right now.
Yep. And that's what I teach. Like that's why my students and myself are so successful is I have a very systematic approach to finding deeply discounted houses, right? Because if you can find houses for 40 cents on the dollar, you kind of got to be a dummy not to make money. It doesn't matter if you wholesale them, it doesn't matter if you buy them and list them as is, it doesn't matter if you buy them, fix them up and sell them, it doesn't matter if you buy them and rent them out to someone, you're going to make a lot of money. Right? What you do as a property depends on your personal goals and what you're trying to do. But if you can get good at finding deeply discounted properties and getting a deal of a lifetime every week, you're going to be wealthy, right? And that's what changed my life is finding and creating a systematic approach that avoids competition, that helps me find deeply discounted properties. Right? I teach this stuff and it doesn't hurt me because the way we do this is you earn what you put in. Right? It's not a list that everyone can buy and everyone markets the same list. You create a list that no one else has, right? You're avoiding that competition and you're choosing to be successful by willing to work hard. It's pretty awesome.
Where can we find a title company?
Yeah. So if you're in Utah, right, my West Valley guy, Corey Cannon, Stewart Title, does all of our transactions. She's in Layton. That's fantastic. Definitely check that out. Another great way, you can go to the Facebook groups in your area. So if you go to Facebook and go to the groups and go to the group section, I'm going to be doing a training soon on this, how to get access to these Facebook groups, not only to build a buyer's list, but also title companies. So if you go to those Facebook groups and get added to those Facebook groups, so just search like real estate investing in your city or real estate investing in your state or real estate wholesaling in your state or your city, you're going to find all the Facebook groups that are in your area. Request to be added to all those. Most of them are private. And then once you get access to those groups, there's a search bar in every group and just search the term title company. When you see anyone that's ever chimed in about title companies in the area, and you want to find a title company that understands the wholesaling process, right? There's tons of title companies out there. You could Google title companies, but 99% of them don't even know what wholesaling is, let alone how to do the paperwork properly. So you got to find an investor friendly, wholesaling friendly title company and title officer at that place, right? Because there's usually more than one title officer at a title company. In some states, they're attorney states. Some states are not attorney states. What that means is some title transactions have to be done with an attorney. So keep that in mind with finding an attorney or at a title company.
They're asking you to say her name and who she's with.
Yeah. Corey Cannon. Corey Cannon, Kori Cannon, Cannon, at Stewart Title in Layton, Utah. She's a sweetheart. Tell her I sent you. Love her to death. She's done a ton of deals for me. You can even see that I'm doing deals, right? Not full of crap. Anyways, that's who I use.
Back to your deal machine. Sounds like deal machine basically does the work on both sides, or is he missing something?
Yeah, so you're gonna have to do the work, use the Deal Machine app. Basically, Deal Machine is a app that looks like Google Maps, essentially. Right? Imagine you're driving down the road and you have your Google Maps image uploaded, right? It'll show the street, it'll show your little blue dot of where you're at. And depending on if you're in satellite version or maps version, you'll see the parcel or you'll see the satellite image with the house. And the same thing on Deal Machine. You can see the difference between satellite or maps version. I like the satellite version myself. So imagine you have that Google Maps and you see an ugly house. You're right. You're driving through investor friendly areas. You find this ugly house that looks vacant and run down. And all you have to do is find the house on the map and touch the house on the map, and it'll upload all the information in an Excel spreadsheet. And then within the app, you can send a postcard right there within the app. You can do that. Or you can request to buy a phone number from them. You can do that. Or you can export that entire list and do postcards other places or skip trace through a place that's much cheaper, like kind skip tracing, where I get my phone numbers. Um, but yeah, it's essentially a list building system. So you can buy lists from like PropStream or ListSource, or go to the city and county buildings and ask for public records like the divorce list, the eviction list, the probate list, the code violation list. But everyone has those lists. Everyone's marketing those lists. They're marketing the exact same people over and over and over and over. And you're just one more, Joe Schmo that's annoying them. Right. But with driving, you're only adding the ugly houses. You're only adding properties that make sense in the right areas. Plus, no one has your exact same list, right? You're going to find someone that wants to sell that hasn't been bombarded, right? It's one of the reasons that I'm so successful and why my students are so successful is they have a systematic approach to, you know, not have that competition. So, definitely check out my podcast, Driving for Dollars Mastery. You're going to get way more clarity on exactly what I'm talking about and how it's done.
Peter's asking you, do you pay for one-on-one training? I'm more of a physical learner, step-by-step type of deal. I need a lot of help.
Yeah, so I have a mentorship where I coach one-on-one, where you have direct step-by-step step. You have my cell phone, I coach you, I teach you. So if you guys want to do that, um, you know, go to any of my bios and there's usually a link to apply for my mentorship, where actually I'll personally jump on the phone with you and talk to you about it. It also, the reason I want you to go to those links is I go through my requirements. I don't take everyone. I don't have enough time to take everyone. And if I bring someone on, I want to be able to give the guarantee that I'll get you across that finish line in 3 months or less. And so I got to make sure that you guys are capable of doing 5 things, because without these 5 things that I'll explain in those videos and the links in my bio, I can't get you results, and I don't want you spending money on mentorship unless you're going to make your money back and then some quickly, right? So go to the links in my bio. If you guys want to get a mentor, you can apply there. More than anything, I wanted this live to be about giving you guys a free resource, introducing you to, my contracts and my podcast. I want you to guys go learn. And if you go, hey man, we've done some research on Zach, we think he's great, I want him to be my mentor, then yeah, go apply for the mentorship. But I just wanted to give you guys some great free resources.
One coming in from Washington, another person from Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice. I spoke in Asheville, North Carolina. The first time I was ever on stage, the first time I ever taught anyone was in Asheville, North Carolina in 2018. And I was explaining and teaching. I think there was like 200 people in the audience. It was my original mentor's, event, and he asked me to speak about my marketing system. It's now, Driving for Dollars Mastery. It's evolved since then, and then some, of course. But I got on stage and I said how I had gone from a broke window cleaner to had done $500,000 the first year of doing Driving for Dollars. And I explained and broke down what I was doing and how I was making it happen. And I had a big slide, a slide deck that I shared, like step by step what I was doing, how I was doing it. And I said, if you guys want my slide deck, just shoot me an email and I'll respond and give you the slide deck. All 200 and something people in the audience requested it. And that's kind of how it all started, right? Of me helping people. I fell in love with helping people, and that event started. So Asheville's kind of a special place. special memory of speaking at that event. So pretty cool.
Give the name of the podcast again.
Yeah, it's called Driving $4 Mastery, right? You can find it anywhere you guys find your podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, anywhere the podcasts are for sure.
How much of a balance?
What balance I've had on Deal Machine. So I don't use Deal Machine for so the question was how much balance that I have on Deal Machine for sending postcards. I don't send postcards through Deal Machine. I'm sending my postcards right now through a company called Direct One. Um, you can use Deal Machine, especially if you're not adding a ton of properties. But my goal is to spend as little as possible for the best possible services. Deal Machine, there's no better app for building a list. They have great skip tracing, great way to send postcards. It's simple if you want, but my goal is to, I have a team now that helps me. So our goal is to spend as little as possible and make as much as possible. So I skip trace through a company called, or I send postcards through a company called Direct One right now. So I just create the list on Deal Machine and export the list, and then use that list. I market to it with different services.
Asking, do you find state?
It is not an attorney state. Utah is not an attorney state for title work. Corey Cannon is not an attorney. Um, my attorney here is actually the one that gave me those real estate contracts that I'm sharing with you guys, though.
No more questions right now.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us live. If you're catching this recording, make sure you go get that free resource. And if you guys are here live, definitely go get my real estate purchase contracts. Like I said, I've had multiple different real estate contracts that I've revised and changed. I've had to go to lawsuits over due performance and forcing people to follow through with agreements, and not having the right contract is such a pain in the butt, and it's going to cost you way more money in the long run. And I thought, you know what, maybe I'll sell these purchase contracts since I paid so much for them. But I was like, you know what, why don't I just add some value and give them away for free? Why the heck not? So go get them. They're free. There'll be links in my bio. Go grab that free resource. Link in the description as well. Sorry. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you on Wednesday. We're going to do some Q&A on Wednesday. So make sure you guys follow me and your notifications are on so that you catch me live on Wednesday for some Q&A. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.